Welcome back to another Sunday walk video. I am walking indoors today because it is raining out and it's very, very hot, but mostly because it's wet. However, I do think this week will be very, very, very good for markets, for Bitcoin and crypto all around. And there are several reasons why. And as of right now, while I'm filming this, Bitcoin is slowly climbing up to $109,000, and we could be seeing Bitcoin touching upon 110 once again, which we saw a few days ago. So I actually do think that the momentum is starting to build. Let's see what happens when Asia wakes up. Sometimes Asia does sell off, goes against North America, but then again, there are times where Asia wakes up and immediately starts buying. So let's see what happens. So several bull things to talk about. Number one is that big, beautiful bill. It did pass. So I do expect some consequence of it. I think the markets will take it more favorably than disfavorably. So we'll see how Wall Street reacts to it. But ultimately, I've already said this. How it relates to Bitcoin is, number one, we know that the US government will continue to spend. That's why the deficit will increase and the debt ceiling was raised with that big, beautiful bill. So all of that is going to drive more people to Bitcoin. It will. It's one of the reasons why Bitcoin actually started trending higher because of it. I think a lot of people will see that. The opponents of the bill are mostly opposed to the extra spending. And that is why I think it's going to help Bitcoin long term. Short term, again, we'll see what Wall Street thinks. Wall Street might think it's a good thing because it does help big businesses. It does help the rich. There are tax cuts. So Wall Street overall could think it's a good thing. And then you compound that with you compound it with a secondary boost for Bitcoin, I guess. It's gonna be good. But this is not the only thing. This is not the only thing that's gonna be helping. Trade deficit or trade deals. Trump announced that there are about 12 deals made in this last week. We heard about the one, weeks ago we had UK and then China, we got Vietnam. So that's 3. So there's about 9 additional countries that made a deal. So this is really good. And plus, Scott Benson said that they're going to send out letters saying that if you don't make a deal by August 1st, then tariffs will come back. So I do think, and this is what I said last week, I do think that we're going to get more countries coming and forming deals. And that would be a really good thing. I think the more clarity that we get on tariffs, the more clarity that we get, the better, because it leads to rate cuts. Okay, so that's something that Trump obviously is pushing for, everyone's pushing for, but Powell already himself said, I can't lower, or I would have lowered already if it was not for the tariffs. So I think the more clarity that we get, the better. We are seeing effects of the tariffs in a positive way right now, right? Gas is lower, and then we do see a lot of things like certain goods are lower and so forth. So we haven't really seen a huge effect of the tariffs yet on inflation, even though economists and Powell and everyone is thinking it will have a negative effect on inflation, meaning things will go up. But so far, inflation has not gone up. The CPI, PCE, all those readings have stayed put. And we have seen, I think collectively, 120 billion collected from tariffs. And that may continue to increase. So overall, we're getting a net positive right now. So that's pretty good. But of course, if the tariffs do come in full force and gets placed on, certain countries, it may change. For example, Vietnam is going to have a blanket 20% tariff. China, blanket 30% tariff. So maybe we just have to wait and see how that goes. But anyways, I think that will also be good for markets this week. Additional trade deals made, more clarity on tariffs. And on Wednesday, we're going to get FOMC minutes from the last FOMC meeting. So if there's anything in there that states that the Fed is ready to cut, if there's any inkling that they are ready to cut, that's going to probably drive markets upwards too. Not going to be probably this month. There's like no way it's going to happen this month. But September, it's priced in, right? But you know what? July is still early. We're only in the first week of July. Maybe because the FOMC meeting is at the end of July. So maybe there's some kind of hint from the minutes that show that the Fed is willing to cut this month if they see this, this, and this, and this. If there's any kind of language in there that indicates that, then maybe there's a chance. And then maybe, then markets will react very positively to that as well. So there are a lot of things. This is all macro stuff, right? Big, beautiful bill, trade deals, rate cut possibility. These are all great things. Now, if you look at the technicals, though, all right, I've been looking at the technicals for Bitcoin, even though I'm not a big technical guy, but been looking at it, asking AI to help me analyze things, and it looks good. Our retest of 110 on July 4th was very positive. If we could actually build a little more momentum and break through that, then of course we will go hit that 112 and make that new high. And we're inching closer and closer towards it. Last few weeks, we were like 107 and we like slowly built up. Now we have seemingly built that base to like 108, 109. We're just like slowly building up. So from a technical standpoint, and there are some signs, some patterns that show that we're breaking out. We're getting ready. We're at the very first step of it. So even from that perspective, it's looking good. And we could see some big moves this week. If you combine the technicals, of course, with the growing fundamentals, which never change, we get more and more buying every single week. And then you combine that with some good macro stuff. That's a perfect storm for a big pump, a big green candle for this week. And I'm looking forward to it. I really am. I think this week is going to be fantastic. Okay? Unless I'm misreading things and Wall Street really, really, really hates the big, beautiful bill, and then we start out Monday really, really negative in the red. But I'm thinking the opposite. I'm thinking that there are a lot of catalysts that's going to drive us. All these things I mentioned are catalysts to drive us upwards. And then combined with the growing fundamentals and technicals, it's going to be absolutely fantastic. And, when Bitcoin leads the way, then that's when the alts come back to life. ETH seems to have gotten a little strength. Same thing with Solana. And we even saw a little preview of what's to come when memes get hot, or Solana gets hot, memes get hot. We saw that last week, right? And others like Sui, AVAX, they came back to life, and others too. So whenever we get just a little bit of movement for Bitcoin, that's when the alts come back to life. And that's what we're waiting for. And we got several conferences that's going on, I think, this week and next week as well. Don't know if they're going to announce anything, if any of the projects will say anything. But, this year so far during conferences, we haven't really seen any big dips. So that's good. Anyways, that's it. I'm going to keep today's nice and short. I think overall, it's going to be a very good week. I'm looking forward to it. I really am. I think we're going to see some fantastic movements this week. So I'm getting ready. Hopefully you guys are too. So smash up that like, subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Have a good one. Take care. Bye-bye.